Got a Kizer, except it's not in the box. Yeah, it's right there under the box. Got this on the secondary market, and no box, no nothing. And it's got a lot of little snail trails. And so part of this video, I'm gonna let you know in the beginning, is we're gonna tumble all this, and I'm gonna show you my tumbler. We're gonna put these scales and a pocket clip in that tumbler, and we'll wrap up the video after I let that stuff tumble for a while. But yeah, this is a Kizer. Come on, man. Active Bantam, Kim Ning design, stonewashed, S35BN. And it's just in case you're interested, it's a KI 3404A3. And so it's kind of on the theme of some of the other older ones I have, but it's like a mini me version. It's smaller. Yeah. But man, is it nice. And so yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity to kind of showcase a little bit of, buying a used knife and being able to make it pretty sharp. What a great little pocket knife this is. Really kind of, this would be one that I would be surprised. Like, why didn't this stay in production? Like, what is it about this knife that they just lapsed and let it go? Because, I mean, it's got great ergonomics, excellent jimping. It's got jimping on the lock bar. It's easy to access. Nice thumb stud. It's got a good spidey flick. I mean, I'm kind of ahead of myself and out of order here, but, I mean, it's a good one. The reverse. I mean, you want to talk about confident reverse. Man, that's it. Man, am I locked in there. Not so much this. Too small to get up in there. Yep. Well, let's take it apart. Let's get in there. I mean, let's look at the blade first. The blade's got that stonewashed S35. And I mean, looking at it, I didn't see anything that didn't tell me that it doesn't have the factory edge, that it's not in good shape. I mean, look at that edge. There's no scratches or anything, no chips. I just think somebody put it in their pocket. I don't think it actually got used. I just think that they, the previous owner or maybe the only owner bought a cool knife and thought, man, I'm going to put that in my pocket. And so, this finish on titanium, it's pretty susceptible to little snail trails. This one's got its fair share. So we're going to tumble it and clean it up. All right, now we're going to take it apart. Come on, man. That first take apart was kind of a tease. Let's see if we're in backwards or correct on this piece. I think it's backwards. I already know it is. Yep, this side's got the screw. Yep. That's all right. We're taking the whole thing apart, so I'm going to stay on this side. See if I can't get all three of these screws off of this side. Yep. Nice. So this scale is ready to go to the tumbler. Yep. Just like so. I'm probably going to clean it before I put it in the tumbler. Ain't no sense putting dirtiness in there. Yeah, I mean, the knife is dirty. Dirty McGurdy. There we go. And now I want to get all this off. Nice. And nice times 2. And nice times 3. Yeah, this thing cooperated tremendously well. Wonderful. I'm going to pull the little metal insert off. Don't need it. You're tumbling around. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of this detent off here because it was just slightly stiff. There we go. Plenty. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? I'm going to put a little cleaner, little ethanol on a rag. Let's clean all this up before I put it in a box, because we'll store it. I mean, the video will take a break. Then I'm going to introduce you to my tumbler, and we'll set it up. I got it out in my garage here because it does kind of make some noise, but I really love it. It's a great little tumbler, and out of all the tumblers out there, it 100% is the one that I'd recommend. I'll put a link below this video for it. You can pick it up on Amazon. But there's some reasons that I really like it. It's just about as simple as a tumbler as you can get. And I didn't know it, man, but those little tumblers, for rocks or parts or, deburr and whatever, man, there's a lot of choices, and a lot of them aren't very good. They tend to have issues, and so I'm going to show you the one that I got, and I think some of them overheat, the motors burn out. I mean, like there's a gambit, and if you research them, I mean, I found more reasons to not buy any of them than anything. It was like, just the straight feedback coming on them was like, ugh. Yeah, I don't want to buy a problem. I mean, I think I would like this to be simple, not problematic. Man, even on this gray tail, I'm getting quite the little dirty spot here. Makes me wonder, maybe the owner was a smoker. I'm not sure, but everything's kind of dirty. And maybe just this screw. All right, I'm going to put all of that in a box, including the blade. I am not going to tumble the blade because it looks in pretty good shape. All right, let me get a box. Okay, we're going to partner up with a Tucson box here, which is just fine. Let's get all of our stuff here. Okay. All right, so we got everything in the box. All right, so let me show you part of my tumbler. Okay, so here's what I have here. So I have the media, and I put it in this strainer that's small enough that the media can't get through, and it's ceramic media. And I find that this is working pretty good. It's the smaller stuff, so it gives a pretty fine finish. And then here's the tumbler right here. It's a Frankfurt Arsenal piece, and I'll show you the box here in a second. But of course, the way I do this is I'll load it in this, I don't know, I call it a jar. So why do I put it in the strainer? So when I'm done with it, I rinse it because it can be dirty. I rinse it and then I dry it in the strainer. And I do that. I don't know, but I would think that after a while, this media would get stinky. You know, if it just stayed wet and funky all the time. Yeah, so it's all down in there now. Yep. And so the pieces and parts go in here. Now, hey man, I've had somebody tell me that I shouldn't put them in there together. But I put pieces in here together a bunch. Look at the snail trails on this side. I mean, it's got quite a bit going on there. But I've never found a problem putting them in there together. And then I'm going to fill it with some water. I'll kind of show you how much. I think I'm going to do about half full. Yeah, so let's see if you can see in there. So I filled it about half full with the water. And what that does, it does a couple of things, but it keeps everything agitated. Now the lid, here, the lid's two parts. It's got a seal that's clear that you can see through, and then it's got a top that seals on. It's one of the reasons that I like this tumbler is because this is so simple. I mean, you put the one piece on, and then this piece just screws on top. And I don't have to over tighten it, but just kind of snug. And it's completely waterproof. Yeah, so now the scales are in here, the media is in here, and you can kind of see it's like half full. I don't know if that shows on the camera very well. But we're going to take it out and put it on the tumbler now. So, all right, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the box for the tumbler. It's from the Frankfurt Arsenal. It's a rotary tumbler light. It's got a geared drivetrain. It's maintenance free. There's no belts. Holds 3.3 liters. And it's made, you can see here, you can tumble up to 300 cases of 223. So it's made for cleaning and tumbling brass for reloading. But it's worked awful well for me to tumble knife parts as well. So here's another reason I like it. It's so simple, man. Like you don't got to lock anything in. You literally just set that on top of there like so, and then you turn it on. Ready? And I mean, that's it. And so I'll let those scales go overnight. I'm going to say that they'll run for 6 or 7 hours, maybe more. And that ceramic's kind of a light grit. You can see in there. See how it's tumbling around now? You can see the water's about half full. And so that media is just rolling like a washing machine. I mean, from all the tumblers that I reviewed and checked out and looked at, this thing is so simple and it's just been flawless, allowing me to tumble knife parts, blades, scales, and there's different media for different purposes, but cleaning up a titanium scale, this media is working really well. So hey, we're going to let this thing tumble, and when I come back to this video, we'll be done tumbling, and we'll see what the results are over on the bench. Fair enough? All right, I'll be back. And of course, you know, it's going to be hours here, but it's going to be like, boop, for you. Okay, so just like that, boop, in a blink of an eye, like 7 hours passed. And I took these out and took them to the sink, and then I rinsed them off. And as you can see, all of our little snail trails are gone off of these scales. And it leaves a wonderful kind of satiny finish. Remember all that was up here? Yep. Same thing on our pocket clip. Oops, sorry about that. Yep, just cleaned it right on up, made it look wonderful. So let's put it together and we'll wrap up the review on this piece. But I will link that tumbler down below and the media, because the media does not come with it. And so if you're interested in that, I encourage it. If you pick up used knives, man, it is an easy way to manage little scratches and snail trails, all that kind of good stuff. Is this captured? It is not captured. So it's just a tight fit. There we go. So yeah, I mean, you didn't miss anything. I know I didn't show it, but basically I just stopped that tumbler. I unscrew the top. I reach in, take these pieces out, and then I rinse them off. And then after the fact, I'll take that media and I will. I think I'm going to put these in first. There's 3 of them. I forgot about these. Let me get screws and put these in. I think they're T8s. I'll dump that media into that little strainer and try to knock off as much of that water as I can, and then I'll leave them in there to dry. And occasionally, when I use that restroom, I will go in there and agitate that, like shake them up. I don't know, like spaghetti noodles or whatever, And it takes a couple of days, and then they'll be completely dry. Now, could I put a hair dryer on them and get them dry? Yeah, sure I could. But I haven't found it to be that mission critical. Last one. But yeah, it took this snail trailed up piece and made these scales like brand new. No snail trails. Turns it into a piece that you'd be proud to put into a collection. Nope. Come on, man. Put the pivot back in there. There we go. And I cleaned all this, if you remember, before we broke away. You probably remember, because it's only been a few minutes by video's time. It's actually the next day for me. Those tumbled around in there overnight. And, yeah. Can you do it too long? I mean, I guess I'm trying to think if there was questions, I'd try to answer them now. Think of what, try to predict what the question might be. But could you do it too long? I don't. With that media I'm using against this titanium, I'm of the opinion not. I mean, now if you put it in there for 10 days and forgot about it, could it wear? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to say it can't, because then somebody would try it and go, well, you said. I don't think. If I could make that tumbler better, it would be to put a timer on it. Now, can you get a little wall timer and then plug the unit into the wall timer? I've thought about it, because and for that exact reason, it's like, well, what if I forgot that was running out there, or something came up and I left and it just ran for like 2 days straight, or what, you know what I mean? So I did think, man, I could buy a cheap digital timer that plugs into the wall. They even make really cheap ones, I think less than $10, that you use for like Christmas lights. And so I have thought about it. Would it be smart to do that? Probably. Now, can you even damage them? There again, I don't know. I don't know if you can or not. Like if you left it in there for a week, would it? I mean, you would think eventually it would rub something too much, right? I mean, all rubbing has its limits, you know, or surpass the desirable effect, right? And I've been meaning to show this, to just get the right knife that I picked up used, that I got at a reasonable price because of the exact thing that we managed here. Pocket clips nice, recessed into the titanium scale. It's only got one screw. It's got a couple of straight lines, but as long as this screw remains tight, I don't think we're going to have any issues. I think that's a T6. Let me take that back. That's a T8. I don't know why I was struggling to get that bit in there, but I did. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm being very careful about tightening these screws, because the last thing I want to do is put that work into it and then slip on the tightening it, and yeah, so man, this action's whoop, stunning now. If you remember, I adjusted the lock just slightly. Let's make sure it's not failing. Yeah. Man, is that nice. All right, let's get rid of this, and we'll break down this knife. We've covered the Snail Trails and the tumbler. And have completely refurbished this knife. Because the only thing, I digress. I was saying this really was kind of the perfect knife for that. It had some Snail Trails on it, so I got it at a reasonable price. I was happy to bring it into the collection, and then I knew if I tumbled that, I could clean these scales up. Look at that satin finish that's on that titanium now. Just beautiful. And no Snail Trails, no little tracks on it. Looks like brand new. Yep, just beautiful. Nice stonewash S35VN. Let's run through the action real quick. Drop shut, very snappy. Thumb, Spidey flick, back flipper. I mean, it's, you know, I'm going to say A minus. I'm probably grading it at A minus because it's smaller knife. It's got wonderful jimping on the lock, the frame lock here. And so, yeah, I mean, an A minus seemed fair. Excellent jimping up on the spine. The jimping on the frame lock grabs my index finger. It's got jimping on the base, the butt of the knife. And so, not so confident, very confident. This knife really starts to rise towards very confident. Very locked in, wonderful grip here. And the reverse grip is just as good. Really powerful little grip here. And this jimping back here just, man, locks the thumb in. But ow, right? Not so much here at all. Yeah, I like the ergonomics. Let's check the pocket clip. I will say a byproduct of doing that to a knife makes me handle it. I handle it like a baby. You know, once I clean them up, it's weird because I don't handle new knives like that. But once I clean them up, I tend to be delicate with them. Yeah, so look at, there's about a half an inch poking out, but it's a gorgeous half an inch. Beautiful satin finish, titanium. Excellent tension on the pocket clip. I believe it's going to be okay down here on the jean size material, and then this spot back here in the back pocket. Yeah, that's really a beautiful looking knife. I love the finish on it. Creates that satin bead blast stone, I don't know what I want to call it, but it's just gorgeous. Let's check this knife for safety. Make sure we're not making any blade contact, which we are not. And the tip is plenty recessed down there and straight. So the clip is good, the tip is good, and I'm confident I can handle this knife any way I want and not catch the sharp part. So it had snail trails. I wonder if the knife is sharp. I mean, I'm going to strop this little dude. Come on, man. I think it would benefit from a little stropping. I'm going to try to stay high as far as the angle that I'm using, because I really want the strop to just run on the bevel. I don't want it to run up on the flat or the hollow grind of the knife, because this is a hollow ground knife. Yep, I don't want it up in this hollow grind area at all. I just want it on the very bevel. Because it'll, a strop like this with compound in it will create like a ghost effect up on that blade. And I don't like it. I see a lot of knives like that, and I don't like it. I want that bevel to be clean. I'm going to run this knife backwards a few times, just because it really needed work on that edge. Yeah, see, I can feel it. It's kind of rough. Right in that, well, it's gone now. Whatever that was. Let me, couple passes here, and let's check the sharpness of this thing. That's another thing. I see people strop, and it's like they're in a hurry, trying to be like Floyd. Somebody will pick that reference up. But I don't find that to be necessary when I'm stropping. Yeah, buddy. We are sharp now. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? No, I'm saying. Yeah, pretty cool. All right. So let's hit the name one time and we'll wrap up. I'll try to give you my little assessment of price and availability. So this is the Active Bantam. And if I'm going to call price and availability, I'm going to say the knife is, it's one of those that's going to be in that 125 to 150 range, somewhere in there, maybe 130, 149, that kind of thing. It really is a wonderful knife. And I mean, as far as to have it to put in your pocket, yeah, very cool. It's definitely in the class that makes me wonder, why'd they stop making this one? I mean, excellent ergonomics, wonderful action, great materials. Yeah, good stuff. Active Banter. I appreciate y'all watching.